by having you reminds me of the miracle of Imam Jalal.
First time I recited Naha was actually when I was 4 years old. There's still like a video of it on YouTube.
But how did that confidence build over time?
My brothers and my father who encouraged me.
Like, what advice would you give to, from the confidence perspective?
I feel like one thing that's kind of helped me a whole lot, she said to Yazid that she saw nothing except beauty.
Who is your favorite reciter? What's your preference, one hand or two hand Malcolm? What is a ayah or hadith that has really just stuck with you, resonates with you?
Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for tuning into Up Close and Shia podcast, where we speak to Shia personalities to take inspiration from and serve as role models for the next generation. I am incredibly excited to host my guest today, who is also like a younger brother to me. And although he's at a young age himself, he is quite well renowned. He's known for his beautiful voice, but I would argue that his akhlaq is second to none.
Without any further delay, Hasan Mohammad, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for accepting my invite.
Wa alaikum assalam, wa alaikum assalam. Thank you goes to you for giving me this opportunity to come here and answer questions and talk about,
Yes, inshallah, of course, our conversations will always continue. But Hasan, today is special because today, by having you, reminds me of the miracle of Imam Jawad. Right? You remember Imam Jawad became the Imam at the tender age of 7. And all of the Imams preceding him were of age. And you are already amassing a following. You're becoming very influential. A lot of the kids love you. My own son loves you, which is also, his name is Hasan Mohammad. But it's beautiful to see. So with that, let's just start with just your background. So just tell me how old you are and what's your current college status.
Yeah. So right now I'm actually 21 years old and I am in my 3rd year of college at GGC. I have, one more year left.
Okay. And don't worry, of course, we're going to have plenty of questions around family. So don't worry, you're going to hear the uncle's name here shortly. But let's start with your passion for reciting. When did you start reciting for the Ahlul Bait alayhim salam?
So the first time I recited Noha was actually when I was 4 years old.
It was a no.
It was, Noha at Dar Abbas. And this was in the old building. And there's still like a video of it on YouTube somewhere on Naim Bhai's page. If you go like scroll, you'll find it.
Some of the Mankabat one, but I don't think I've seen the Noha.
Oh, really? Yeah. So yeah, my first Noha I was like about 4 years old.
4 years old.
And yeah.
Do you remember what the recitation was? What did you read?
It was Akbar Mera Sirya Wala Akbar. It's a classics.
Obviously that very, very young. And obviously your father being the legendary, of course, Zia, my personal favorite, and I think the world's personal favorite as well. But where did you get the confidence from to, get on and read in front of all these people at 4 years old? And probably maybe you remember that, maybe you don't remember that. But how did that confidence build over time?
Well, from like what I remember my older brothers and my dad telling me, they would tell me that I would always be like, humming or reciting Noha in the house. So it was mainly them, like my brothers and my father, who encouraged me to, go to Dar Abbas and recite Noha at Dar Abbas. So it was honestly because of them that they gave me that platform where I could do that.
Obviously watching you grow up in front of me, Hasan is like my little brother. He is my little brother. But now obviously, you're coming of age, you can travel by yourself. So you started traveling as well. So how do you manage your time? You're a son, you're obviously dedicated, you're a part of the AGA community, you're a college student, you have responsibilities. And then of course your service to the Ahlul Bait, right? So how do you manage that time?
So currently, my semester just finished for college, but while it was still going on, what I did was I did all online classes. So because of that, it made it easier to not only put priority onto majlises and Dar Abbas, but also put priority onto my work as well. And with my work, I did it in a way where I would only work on weekdays. And on the weekends, I would take off so that I can go out of town and recite and shit
Yeah,
like that.
just usually all of the shadadabis and programs are obviously on the weekend. So that's very, very smart. And obviously a friend of yours, a younger brother to me as well, Ahmed Becky. And one thing that he said that he plans essentially is to and that's how he finds his time. So very, very similar stories. So there you go, young men's planning is essential. So for our audience, like what advice would you give to your younger brother and sisters who again, those people who know us and a lot of people know us, right? They the kids love him, right? So what advice would you give to them? So like my own son, he hums as well, right? He's 3 years old now, but he's already humming all the tunes and all that stuff, right? So what advice would you give to them from the confidence perspective? How do they build that?
Well, honestly, I say a lot of that part goes to elders and to parents to kind of push them and to encourage them,
Exactly.
where that way they can like gain that confidence and like basically do whatever that the elders are telling them to do. And also another thing I would say for advice with confidence is to just do it. Honestly, just do it. Like whether you like, are hesitating or like, whether you want to do it, not want to do it, just do it, honestly. And practice makes perfect. And that's with anything at all. So practice, as long as you're practicing, you can't get perfect at anything without practice. So same with Noakhani, as long as you just consistently putting in the practice and just keep on like just doing it, basically. Just being, yeah.
Would you say that obviously the niyyah, right, the intention,
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
that within itself
Absolutely.
also should give you that power, that confidence, because you're reciting for the shahada,
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
to the popular,
Exactly.
reciting for.
Exactly.
Along the same lines, just from a, I guess, practical standpoint, um, like you're mentioning practicing, what are some tidbits that you can share with the youth on actual like voice training and stuff like that? Is there something that you did? Of course, again, you have your dad, right? But any tidbits on voice or any things that you just gathered from experience, how to take it up, how to take it low, or even looking at the makamis to know like when you need to break it down. Just any tidbits that you can share with the audience.
I have like practiced a whole lot with my dad, but I feel like one thing that's kind of helped me a whole lot is I used to go on YouTube and I used to look up Sipte Jafar's lessons on Soz Khani, where he would have his class. And I used to watch like all of those, just see like what he's talking about. And through that, I've learned like a little bit about like, जैसे कहाँ अपनी आवाज जैसे where you want to उठानी है और कहाँ गिरानी है things like that. And with the matam, that's more of like a vibe kind of a thing. Like you gotta match the vibe of everyone else, and then that way you can kind of set your vibe in a way.
I've seen you when you're reciting at the Rebaz, you're looking at, for example, Mali, or you're looking at Jess, you're looking at your friends, you're looking at Busan, right? You're looking at myself or whomever. Same thing, guys, if you're bad, dude, and I've seen a lot of people, like you said, you got to see, the Matmis will tell you when to kick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, alhamdulillah. And anything else on, Shaheed Usnad Sitta Jafar is a beautiful reference. Anyone else that you looked up to and followed? And of course, this conversation is going to be incomplete without obviously talking to your dad. So maybe how did your dad help in your training?
Yeah, my dad's helped me a whole lot. Basically, my dad has given me poetries of like people that write poetry and like they want him to make a thirst for it. But he gives me that piece of poetry. He's like, you try to make a thirst for it. And I would try to make thirst for it, and then like whatever parts that he would think that should be corrected, he would correct me on those parts. And I also learned a lot from that as well, honestly, from like just doing work with my dad in that way.
Works. Okay, guys, so that's our wrap it up for the first segment of our show. We're gonna go into the exciting rapid fire. So I don't know if Faisal's gonna be fully ready for this because I've got some really good questions teed up for him. So so the rapid fire section of our show, the segment is focused around. I'm gonna just ask you a few questions. with the expectation that the first thing that comes to your mind, you share that with us. So it's meant to be very candid and very exciting to really get to understand what Hasan Mohammad is all about. So are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm going to hit the ground running. Who is your favorite reciter?
My favorite reciter, I would say, is my dad, honestly speaking, because the style of like Ghamkhar Abbas is just different. And you can't find the style in any Anjuman anywhere in Pakistan, even till today.
There's one thing that your dad has that just attracts everyone is the third.
Yeah, yeah.
That third, it's
That's not, I don't even know if that's practice, Hassan.
It's not. That's something that's like ata, honestly. It's something that's like given directly from Bibi herself.
Okay, well, that was just for first question. What's your go-to Noah?
I don't know. I mean, I like bunch by my dad. I would say that my favorite Noha is Baker van Hussein Gharibul Watan Hussein. This is my favorite Noha by my dad. And I feel like it really kind of shows like what like Ramkhar was back in the day.
What's my favorite your dad's Noah? Do you remember that?
Mm,
Mere Gari.
मेरे गरीब आंखों ने मिलके मारा है.
That I feel like that also resonates with your comment because it really is that Ghamkhar, right? So here's a fun one for you. What's your preference? One hand or two hand matam?
I honestly, I don't have a preference in between them, but I mean, I've grew up my whole life with one hand, and it's kind of like, you know, the only matam that I've like I have done two hand matam for my whole life as well, but the matam that I have grew up on and like basically the azadari that has gotten me closer with the Alibat and with what happened in Karbala is one hand azadari.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that answer. That's a good one. Okay, so switching gears on you just a little bit. You have one dish to eat. What do you eat?
I don't know. um, Favorite cuisine. I honestly like desi food. I love desi food. I love nihari.
so sticking right to that. What is your mom's favorite dish? What are you gonna tell her to cook for you?
Maybe pulao, chicken pulao, or like even like dal chawal with kebab.
Well,
Sorry, guys, but I also have an answer because Faranti is obviously like a mom to me as well. My favorite Faranti food, shout out to Faranti herself, is paya.
Oh yeah.
We should go for right now. We should go for she's a great book, but paya is second up there. Okay. And the last one to close off the segment, I want to make your mind really think here. What is a ayah or hadith that has really just stuck with you, resonates with you, and just, of course, any ayah, any hadiths from our imams are they're all valuable, of course. But what's one that stuck with you?
For me, it's definitely gonna be when Bibi Zainab was in Darbar of Sham and she said to Yazid that she saw nothing except beauty. And this really resonates with me a lot because sometimes we go through hardships and we go through some tests where it seems like there's like nobody there for us, or there it seems like that we have like nothing, or it seems like like nothing will go right. Sometimes it seems like that, but when you just have that trust in Allah, when you have like faith, basically, when you have it to that point, it's just different because you see everything as beauty, even if it's something that's like fully like destroying you.
Yeah, Mara ila Jamil. Hassan, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
And inshallah, bihaka Ahlul Bait, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep showering the blessings upon you. You just keep spreading the word of Mount Hassan, keep spreading Bibi Fatima's message all over the world, inshallah. Any questions about the episode that you guys want to follow up on, send us a DM. Let us know if any questions. Of course, you can reach out to Hassan yourselves as well. And inshallah, we'll see you next time on the Post and Shia podcast. Assalamu alaikum.